took a chance using chaos control. Chaos control. Chaos control. Chaos control.
God is not here.
Chaos control. Chaos control. Chaos control.
Coming to you live from Camp Crystal Lake.
Check. We interrupt this program to bring you Chaos Control. We're a part of the Pumpkin Hill Radio Network, and when I say we, I mean me. For this anyway, if you want to hear Dawson, check out Dawson's Diaries as well as the main feed, Pumpkin Hill Radio. All the episodes are on every platform, just like what you're listening to now. So, yeah, this is Chaos Control. It's like Pumpkin Hill Radio, but a little different. Instead of one paranormal mystery broken down for over like an hour, we're just talking about like topical paranormal things in the news. Basically, I'm gonna kick my feet up. I'm gonna get relaxed here. Okay, and yeah. So it's just paranormal news, basically, with your host, Travis Wormwood. That's me. Welcome in. Check the video if you haven't. It's just going to be me chilling by a TV playing Godzilla. So enjoy that. I got a couple things today to talk about for the news. Let's see. Where do I even begin? I know Dawson on his Dawson's Diaries is going to be covering some spaceship stuff, some jellyfish stuff. Actually, we saw a video out of Texas recently that was basically a sky. They said squid, but it was this glowing jellyfish-looking thing, kind of smoky. It was very interesting. So go check on what he's doing to hear more about that. I'm gonna just start from the top, and we'll go from there, though. Okay. An infant in India avoided what could have been a tragic fate when he shockingly bit a cobra snake to death when the venomous creature approached him. Yeah, so this was reported a little earlier in the month in the town of Betia. During a brief moment when he was left unsupervised, the 1-year-old boy, identified as Govinda, suddenly found himself with a cobra snake wrapped around his hands. I guess like I did. So the kid, I don't know. People kind of have a fear of snakes sometimes. I got a snake. People get spooked about this stuff sometimes. Children don't have like a natural fear of snakes. I saw this really weird video of a bunch of parents putting snakes around their kids, and like little kids playing with snakes, and the snakes didn't seem to care, and the kids didn't seem to care. I don't know. Bizarre. I don't know what my feed is, but yeah, looks like this kid just bit a snake and killed it. Yes, just bizarre. That's not really paranormal. It's just kind of bizarre. I like a kid biting a snake to death is pretty sick. Here's the big one. Here's one of the big ones. Is this like so-called alien spacecraft coming to Earth? Okay, so earlier this month, astronomers made a fascinating discovery: a mysterious object with interstellar origins, now dubbed 31 Atlas. That's hurtling towards the inner solar system at extreme speeds. I'm talking 130,000 miles per hour. The scientists race to get a better understanding of the rare visitor. It is only the third confirmed interstellar object to have ventured into our solar system. We did have that like Oumuamua, that's not the right word. That long-looking asteroid that they were theorizing could be some kind of like spacecraft, maybe some type of like interstellar thing that they would disguise as like an asteroid almost. I don't know. Very weird. I don't even know what happened to that thing. The news cycle doesn't even care about it. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But we got a new one. We got this Atlas thing. And the big one with this is that well, first off, when we first got pictures of it, it was just this kind of like bright like dot on like the telescope. And now there's these newer pictures of it I'm sure you've seen that are like, oh God, it's like a rainbow. It's like a weird glitching like rainbow like raised like cosmic rainbow like streak across the space. It's very bizarre. It doesn't really look like any other like asteroid or anything that meteor or whatever comet that I've seen before. Yeah, it's kind of bizarre. It's apparently headed here like pretty quick though. We have some reports say October 31st is going to get here, so Halloween. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. There's a whole other end of this that we can get into after I just lay out the report. That is like that this is all fake disclosure, and this is just like waving a hand somewhere for us to look while they pass a real agenda beneath it. It doesn't look like a comet, although NASA, it did go from so NASA had registered it as just like an object, I guess, and now they're calling it an interstellar comet, which I don't know how rare that is. Probably, I mean, everything is, I don't know. I guess we don't get many of them here. Three that we've ever checked on, I guess. NASA is also currently like talking about at least sending the Juno probe, which it's like one of these probes we've already shot up there. So they're talking about like sending the Juno probe to intercept the object by the time it gets to Saturn, which I also thought was kind of bizarre that NASA would care. I mean, because here's the thing: is apparently this fucking object changed course, and all the astronomers agree, that it has changed course, and now it's coming. I don't know. I don't think it's like darting directly at Earth, but I think the trajectory is sending it very close, much closer than it was going to be. And also now it's going to be coming from behind the sun. So when it comes from, so we're not going to be able to observe it is the other thing. So there's a lot of weird. I'll just read a little more here. A Harvard scientist said that this could be an alien craft. The other thing is that like Epstein was paid a bunch of Harvard scientists and shit in the past. If you want to get into like Harvard conspiracy stuff, I don't necessarily trust these people just because the Harvard word is some kind of scientist. It seems to have some kind of caliber to it. I don't know, some kind of like high level thing to it. It seems to all be kind of fake anyway, right? The object is about the size of Mount Everest, and the alien ship traveling. So this is what the Harvard scientist Avi Loeb said. The alien ship traveling toward Earth can attack us between literally, I don't even know what the fuck, can attack us between November and December. And he also thinks what he has said, what this Harvard scientist has actually said, whether it be for like the news cycle or like buzzword or real or conspiracy or disclosure, I don't know. It could be any of these things. What he has said is that it could be planting probes on other planets on the way towards Earth. Right, like possibly that's why it's also changed its trajectory. Jesus, man, this is a mess. And so it could be like planting, like probing other planets as it's coming here. And then the strange thing is that it now is going to be coming from behind the sun, which means we cannot like observe it. You know, it's going to be on that other side of the solar system coming toward us. And so we just can't put a scope on it if there's like the sun glaring in the way. So it can, I guess, probably still check on us, but we don't have any eyes on it anymore. So I guess it's going to be coming in a few months. And the NASA thing is weird that they're sending a probe there. They seem highly interested in it for some reason. That's the only part that makes me feel like maybe it's either real or I don't know. That's what gets me. I don't necessarily trust like NASA, whatever, but if they're going to actually send a probe over to do something with it, unless that's all just fucking fake. Although there are amateur astronomers that are seeing it, so it can't just be, I don't know, because other people will put this like hand in hand with like a Project Bluebeam thing, like a government like controlling the narrative, like as in like saying there's an alien invasion and then using that to control us through like FEMA type methods where they can have like insane government protocols to like keep us quote unquote safe. So it seems like that's what everything is hurling toward anyway. I don't know if this is just what they are saying it's going to be now. What it does do is give us like a narrative to be led on now. Like now we have this, and all the news articles picking it up are all saying like possibly aggressive craft, which also like irks me because I feel like they're just putting that on there just for the sake of it. But I mean, I guess not if this guy's saying he's going to attack. They're going to attack. This guy's just putting up a lot of words that people are clinging on to that I feel like are taking up space in the news for real things like, hey, we don't really cover it here, but like the Epstein stuff is insane. I've personally been researching it. Maybe there'll be some kind of weird, I don't know. It's because it's ever changing and there's like still a lot to go on with Ghislaine in the future. She's apparently got a whole list of people. But that's a whole plant too. The whole thing is fucked. If you don't know, then I don't know. Then you don't know. I'm sure you've heard some stuff about that though. So just know that I am in the know about it as much as I can be. But I that doesn't necessarily live here, although it is an insane story. And it definitely does, because it connects to like everything else, like even this, as I pointed out. But that just means it's going to take more to research, honestly. If we're getting any kind of episode like that, that's going to be like a 2 to 3 parter, which I would do. But then there's, okay, we got this other news. The title is this Tic Tac ours? UAP experts clash over Lockheed Martin claims in secret tech. There's been these Lockheed Martin, documents that seem to just show how they use some type of specific magnetism and other tech I obviously can't explain to, and it's just one of these Tic Tac UFOs that we've been seeing. So, journalist Ross Coulthart, he had an explosive claim here about a Tic Tac sighting in 2004 by U.S. Navy pilots over the USS Nimitz off the coast of California. I now know categorically that the Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, also I guess I should explain, is a huge corporate that makes like weapons and everything. It makes everything. They're talking about like building a rail system on the moon is like how big that's like what the company's talking about right now. So they probably have this kind of tech, right? Yeah, I now know categorically that the Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin is a global security and aerospace company. That's what it is. And this bold assertion has had a ripple effect on the UAP community. The Tic Tac UAP sighting that Coulthart was referring to originally occurred in November 2004. It was witnessed by these pilots, and the object dropped from 80,000 feet to sea level in seconds. Holy fuck. With no visible wings or exhaust, and was confirmed by radar, infrared footage, and pilot accounts. So they just saw it, and it happened. They just saw this thing drop from 80,000 feet to sea level in seconds. It was described as smooth, white, oblong, like a mint Tic Tac with no wings or exhaust. After it got to sea level, it then shot off at quote unquote blistering speeds. The footage was made public in 2017, which is, I believe, what sparked some of this government and all of our interest and serious government interest in the UAP stuff. I mean, on the large, some of these videos are some of those ones like the black and white you see with the Tic Tac moving insane movements. That's all from that time. It takes literally 15 years to get this shit disclosed, so it's been happening forever. They literally had a thing that could descend 80,000 feet to sea level in seconds and shoot off at blistering speeds in 2004. What? I don't even know what to do about this. That's not it. What we're saying is that this is human made, and likely, right, that it's reverse engineered from alien tech. Like, how else do we get it? Either this military grade shit is just 100 years ahead of its time, and they're just not showing us, which is fine. That also seems like it's happening, but it's to say that there was no like interaction with something that would give us this kind of tech from where we were 100 years prior is insane. I mean, like, okay, 2004, you're dropping 80,000 feet to sea level in seconds. In 1904, I mean, like, seriously, that's fucked. That's fucked. And obviously, this just helps out with the Project Bluebeam stuff. The government has this kind of tech. Like, how easy is it to make it seem with fucking drones, even like the drone like sky shows and stuff, all this stuff, man. It's like we're so close to just being like, oh, it's the invasion. And it's like, okay, I guess even if it is like blue beam, like if it is blue beam, what do you do about that then? Do you just stand outside and say, though, that's not real? Like, I feel like you still would have to fall under these government like there's not even any escaping it, right? We're just in this trap now, I guess. Okay, so that's like the news. We've had some recent Loch Ness sightings and Bigfoot sightings. I don't know. The videos are out there. See for yourself. It's for me, I love Bigfoot. We're in the year of Bigfoot. We knew more footage was going to come out because this is happening. Everybody has phones that can pull them, and we're going to get the video. But so many people say, well, everybody has cameras in their pocket now. Why aren't we getting this stuff? We are now. We actually are now. So we can stop saying that. And same with Loch Ness. I don't know. Maybe next year will be a year of Loch Ness. I don't know if we can squeeze 12 episodes out of that. But I mean, it's probably there, right? Something. So in some capacity, I'm willing to believe it. I don't know. We'll have to wait till we get to the episode so I can do a little more research on it. I only know the, what the public knows for now. I have a few stories. Possible mimic taking my form and voice. All right. I have recently moved into my grandfather's attic. House is about 110 years old. And basically, ever since my wife and I have noticed things. Doors opening without drafts. Seeing things from the corner of my eyes, and only really damning one being only one really damning one being the basement door opening by itself in front of my eyes. My wife, though, has been seeing much more. The more important one I've been getting worried about is this thing watching us sleep at night. Oh, God, the wife's seeing something scary. Okay, you ready for this? It's been getting increasingly closer to the point where it now sits on the edge of our bed. Oh, God, every night it's getting closer. This is part of the episode when I get chills. It has been mimicking my voice as well. Started with a loud, hey! And now it's saying, babe, which is what I call my wife. Nice, original. She's also getting more worried and overwhelmed by this thing. I just need some advice on what to do exactly, because I worry it may try to take my spot or something while I sleep. I'm unsure what a mimic's intents are, but it's freaking me out. Well, this is just nice and freaky. Someone to say you're recently moved into my grandfather's attic. I mean, that's freaky enough as it is. With your wife? What's the living situation? And then, not to judge, and then, wow. Yeah, okay, so you're both seeing things, but your wife is literally watching something get closer and closer every night. Yeah, it's going to take your place. I guess I would say the advice for this, you need to build some sort of like tulpic barrier, some kind of mind field, like a psychic barrier. Like if you can have any kind of psychic barrier, probably salt too. Hit a salt ring. Get a black candle to help banish it, and I guess sage your place up twice a day. And I don't know, maybe move out of your grandfather's attic if there's something watching you sleep. Here's another story for you. Anyone ever seen a black orb slightly bigger than a basketball that turned into a black figure or two? When I was 5 or 6, I woke up around 1 to 3 a.m. It was real late because everyone in my house was asleep. I remember looking out. Oh, Godzilla just finished. I'm going to turn that off. What a lovely movie. I remember looking out me and my brother's bedroom door while still in bed and just seeing this big black ball floating on our couch. Oh. After 5 to 10 minutes looking at this black ball, it started floating toward me in my brother's room slowly. As a 5-year-old, I hide under the blanket, not knowing what the hell that thing is after so long, or being under the blanket. I finally peeked out of my blanket and see 2 figures circling between me and my brother's beds. They legit circled our bedroom between our beds until daylight hit. Soon as daylight came through the window, the box TV we had at the time flickered on as they disappeared. Oh, fuck. I remember telling my whole family that Morning Ninjas was in our room trying to get us, and they all laughed at me. LOL, which is reasonable, but I still vividly remember this happening. My story has never, ever changed in the slightest bit since I told my family the first time at 5. I'm now 26, LOL. And now they actually find it crazy I've never changed the story. Okay, yeah. If anyone else knows what this could have been, or as if you've ever experienced it, yeah. Okay, yeah, so we have some sort of void ball hovering towards you. That's very freaky, turning into... I don't know what the hell that is. It's very freaky. I also believe it. It sounds like some sort of energy being. Sometimes Dawson and I will talk about like sacred and void forces. Seems like sometimes sacred forces take on like this plasmic, like blue light appearance. Not always. Sometimes that can be a jest as well and something negative. But if this is like I don't know. I don't know what the hell this is. Seemed like some sort of void space that was just floating there. Could be Lockheed Martin. I don't know. If they got Tic Tacs, they could have these things. Here's another one. Man shape-shifting into a dog. I like this one. This happened approximately 1 hour before writing this post. It wasn't a trick of the light or anything, and I am still having goosebumps. I was driving back home, 11 p.m., and in a village in a mountainside. I saw a drunk man crossing the street, and at some point he stumbled and fell. I had my high beams on, and I could see him clear. As I slowed down and prepared to help him get out of the road due to obvious reasons, and I could see him laying down, he turned into a white dog and walked away. Has anyone encountered anything similar to this? At this point, I am regretting not having a dash cam. Yeah, I think everybody should have more like dash cams and stuff, personal cameras. I don't want the government putting up all these cameras, but if you want your own personal stuff just to keep track of things and like see whenever a man turns into a dog, that would be good. You know what this immediately reminds me of is one of my Native American friends told me that his grandmother used to turn into a white fox, like a snow fox, to travel. It seems like this dude is, yeah. Maybe he was drunk, or maybe he was like, you know, in the movies when you see like the werewolf transformation, there's sort of a little bit of like a thrashing beforehand when you kind of like are when you're just turning. I guess when you're turning is the word for that. Yeah. So again, he sees a man stumble in the street. Not a trick of the light. He's got his fucking high beams on. And he turns into a dog and then walked away. So that's that story. I don't, So I also believe that. Has anyone, and here's I got the last story for you. I just like the title of this one. Has anyone else seen a Hatwoman? By now, most people have heard of the Hatman. Some of you will have seen some form of shadow person. I, however, have an experience. I have struggled Googling others who have had something similar, which is great. That means it's super high strangeness. That belongs right here on Pumpkin Hill Radio. We try to cover one-off cases. So let's see this thing. I was a child. So yeah, of course, I could have just been having childhood fears. But as a child, I had a long bookcase in my room, much longer than it was tall. Also, to the right of it was a small plastic table with 2 little chairs. At night, sometimes I would see what looked like a woman wearing a hat lying down on top of my bookcase. Her hat was absolutely black. It says her hat resembled a kentikufi. I don't know what kind of hat that is, albeit absolutely black. When she was there, the 2 chairs at my little table would take the shape of 2 large dogs or wolves. Interesting. I never felt threatened, and that was unusual in and of itself. I was raised very sheltered in a high-control, paranoid Christian cult. I was terrified of demons, and I was positive every plane that flew overhead was marking the beginning of the apocalypse. I saw the Hatwoman maybe 5 or 6 times as far as I can recall. Anyone else see anything similar? I had really forgotten about this for so long because I was such a staunch materialist atheist for a while, as a knee-jerk reaction to my upbringing. But events of the last few years have reminded me of this, and a dream I had of a shadow children. Ooh, the shadow kids terrified me though. And obviously it was a dream, but the way I was raised, I believe at the time the demons could attack me in my dreams. That's the end of the story that this person posted. But that is like a very interesting point they have about they should have been afraid, which that points to so many things for me. There's so often you hear in like an abduction case where a person. They will sometimes feel fear. Excuse me, but they will not get up or not be able to get up. Like he says, he's just hiding in his bed, or he's just laying in the bed, right? But it's almost like, what if he couldn't get up? Maybe he didn't try, so he didn't know. But what if he couldn't get up? Maybe he was being sort of like locked into this area. I will also say, like, two black dogs. I mean, black dogs are classic shadow figures, like void creatures, I guess. We did, I don't know, about a whole episode on black dogs. We talk about them often enough to where I can recall a few stories. One of that's my phone falling. One of a dog walking toward a man, and the man pulls out a gun and shoots at it, and it doesn't hit anything. It goes right through it. But then also, or no, there's like the bullet casings stay where the dog would have been hit, but the dog moves closer. And also, as the dog is moving closer to him, it looks like it's like growing, like the dog is getting bigger as it's getting closer. Just a bit bizarre, different story. But yeah, it looks like this person has some sort of like a witch and two dogs, like, I guess if they weren't afraid, then just watching over him at night, or possibly like lulling him into the sense of being calm. I don't know. A lot of strange stuff. This was two different people. We had two stories about being watched while being asleep or trying to sleep on this episode. Sometimes episodes have a little bit of a, I don't know. It's not that I try to curate things that are the same, but sometimes in like a specific news week for paranormal stuff, like, or even if it doesn't, even if some of these stories were like remembrances, it's like they just remember to post it now. It's like somehow in the paranormal news, there's like waves of this stuff where it's almost like our like human hive mind like remembered it, or someone saw it and kind of sparked it, and like enough people like went and had it, and then enough people decided to actually go post about it. Very interesting. That's some sort of correlation that I'll have to look into as I do more of these, because there's been a couple other times that we've just had a bunch of not necessarily identical cases, but very similar cases. I guess with that, I will start closing out. My biggest thing today was maybe the possible like alien invasion or fake alien invasion that we're being fed now. That's important. Did I even mention the Soylent Green thing? The whole humans are people are eating people in America now. There's there's some like rumors and documents going around about possibly like Putin has information on Americans eating humans and like all the fast food and everything. I guess regardless of if those documents are corroborated or real, I think I've personally known that has been happening for a while. I mean, if we look at the amount produced to the amount created, obviously there's huge cattle farms and all this, and we already know they're not adding 100% like meat into these things. It's like, what else are they injecting? You look at, I mean, there's from body farms, really kind of gross shit, to talking like body horror shit. Now, from like body farms where you're like growing humans to be like cattle, or like harvesting like newly dead people, or harvesting like that, like homeless people, or different like demographics that like the government and police don't care about, like that they, it's really disgusting to think about, but I think it also is like real to some capacity. I mean, we've had enough. I don't know. It's a total Soylent Green thing. That's literally, and Soylent Green, it's an old movie. Y'all probably know the reference that it's like Soylent Green is people, but check out the movie. It's actually one of the only movies that pretty sure like my mom mentioned it to me when I was younger, or we all watched it as like a family for some reason. And it's just a weird movie. Anyway, I think I'm closing it out here. Look into more Lockheed Martin stuff. I want to check out that railway on the moon. They're doing some interesting things that I need to keep an eye on. Seems like maybe it's my job to keep an eye on this kind of stuff. I just want to thank everybody for their continued support. I know the Chaos Control has not been the most stable of shows on the Pumpkin Hill Radio Network. As I move forward, I'm going to try to be more actually weekly about it. We are looking at bringing on like a manager / assistant for the pod that would really help out on some of that stuff, and I'd have more time to do more creative endeavors just like this kind of stuff, because sometimes I just need to do enough research and editing for the normal pod that I can't quite get to chaos control. But I do love doing it. I mean, these stories, I do love sitting in a room by myself and reading things that actually freak me out. You know, I feel like as we went, the stories got more and more creepy and like haunted, you know? That seems to always happen. So you never know what's going to come up on Chaos Control. Anyway, check out all the other shows on Pumpkin Hill Radio, like the network, including the main show and Dawson's Diaries. Definitely check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Pumpkin Hill Radio. We have like over 50 bonus episodes on there at this point, between the first few Pumpkin Hill Radio episodes that I made exclusive onto the Patreon, and plus the bonus episodes on the Patreon, plus all the bonus Dawson's Diaries that are exclusively there, plus all the bonus Chaos Controls that are exclusively there, plus a couple other random shows we try to do for a couple episodes, and they're just on hold right now. Check it out. We're doing all kinds of stuff. We're making all kind of content as the year goes and grows. Like I said, I think I will be able to have even more creative time for things. I'm very excited about making more content, so stay tuned for all that. And this has been Chaos Control. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. Good night.